Hey everyone, welcome back. We are here to tackle Christmas myth number 3. Was Jesus born in a stable? Actually, the answer to that question is not as simple as we think. The reason people think that Jesus was born in a stable or barn is because scriptures explicitly state that after Jesus was born, he was placed in a manger. If you don't know what a manger is a little kind of area for animals to eat, like a little trough. And so if Jesus was placed in a manger, then that must mean that he was born in a barn, right? Well, not necessarily. Many of us have the assumption that Jesus was born in a stable or barn because they were turned away at the end. However, that's not really the case either. In this Christmas story in scripture, you never find an innkeeper, and you never really find an inn or a hotel. Scholars have recently done studies that make a good case that the word that's translated in some translations is actually not the correct translation. The Greek word kataluma should be translated to place to stay and not an inn. The reason why is because Joseph and Mary would have likely been staying with family. So they might have been staying in a part of the house that wasn't really meant for them. People traveled to each other's homes all the time back then. So houses were made with this in mind. What scripture tells us is that there was no room for Jesus. So they might have put him and his family in a different place of the house they would have normally been occupying. Essentially, it was really crowded. And that's why they weren't in a nice guest room. They were most likely in an area of the house that wasn't very comfortable. So all I have to say, was Jesus born in the stable? Most likely not. I mean, yeah, it's possible, but when we look at scripture, we look at the actual language of scripture, we don't find a stable or a barn that Jesus was born in. And we don't even find the little story of there being no room at the inn. What we find is a family that has traveled a long way and that came to a family home that was overcrowded because of the census going on that year. And Jesus, King of the universe, royalty up to the highest sense of the word, is born like most commoners. In fact, even less comfortable conditions than most people back then. That Jesus will become human like us and be born into such common circumstances. It really shows us the love of God, that he didn't want to just reach out to us, but he became us for us. Again, this series is not about trying to poke holes in Christmas traditions. It's getting back to the truth of scripture, and it's a little bit of a fun thing that we get to do each week during December. So that's Christmas myth number 3, and I hope to see you right back here for the next one. Aloha.